everyone, Junior Dev here. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm gonna show you how to build a reactive form with multiple inputs, text area, checkboxes, radio button, select field, etc. Now I'm gonna show you what happens when we fill up those inputs. Like this. I'm gonna select something else. And we are submitting. We are console logging those values, also some predefined values. And what's good with this form, we are storing those values to the session storage, as you can see, and when we are refreshing, we are also pulling those values, so we are not losing our values because we are pulling them from session storage. We also got a clear button that is returning our form to the default values, also using Material UI for some neat inputs. I'm not using much CSS because I'm leaving that up to you. And later what we can do with this form, we can add some error handling messages, and that's it. So yeah, this is my first YouTube video. I'm not gonna do much talking, and let's jump right on it. We're gonna close this. As you can see, I already created React app called the form. Now we're gonna install some dependencies that we need. That's just gonna be simple Material UI dependencies, like this one. We're gonna copy this and paste it. When this is installing, we're gonna delete some files that we don't need, like this header and logo here. We're gonna also delete logo, test, web vitals, web test, and this is it. Maybe we're gonna clear this. Later we're gonna add our own CSS. Just for now we're gonna put it right in the left corner. Padding gonna be 0 and box sizing gonna be border box. Okay, now when we set up the project, we also need one more dependency and we will be ready to go. We can type something like hello and start our own project to see if it's working. We're gonna go to the material and install also this. So I'm gonna open a new terminal just for us and install that package here. As you can see, everything is good with our app and we are ready to go, just waiting for this dependency to install. First I'm gonna show you how to make a simple input with useState hook. And okay, everything is good, I think. We're gonna make a new file. It's gonna be called form.jsx. Gonna make one function. This is like I was using the snippet. You can also get it with extension. I got a LaTeX extension. Where is this? Yeah, it is here. Just install that and you will be ready to do this like this and press tab or enter. You'll be ready to go. In this form we're gonna add useState hook and we will make a simple input for now inside this, like input. I'm gonna name it a name, set name, and useState hook with empty string. Now our input should have a name. I like to give it a name, and value should be bind to that name we put up here. Also, what we need is on change function to track our changes that we are making in this input. So we're gonna have event set name event target value. And now simply what we're gonna do is just console log to see if we are making, if we are logging that that value from the input. As you can see, there is no input because I forgot to import my component here, form. I also need to import it here, import form from form. And now I think we are ready to go. Yes, we're gonna open the console and we're gonna type something, blah blah, and you see our onChange function is tracking our changes, and this is working. But as I show you in my previous in seconds ago, that we got more input fields, and if we got more input fields, we will need to have like 5 these hooks, or even 6, or as many as inputs we got. So what's the easiest way to do this is we can make a object with names. I will show you that, but the one more way to do it is to make maybe a parent-child component. So I will show you 2 ways. So one way is to make a parent-child component is with multiple input is like this. We're gonna make one child component. Okay, it's gonna call child form.jsx. Okay. Now we will also add. We're gonna also add the material. As I said, we didn't install it for nothing, so let's add some material. First, we're gonna go to the components and we will need a text field. So simple text field, it's gonna be this one. Gonna import this, import it here, and just drop it in here. Text field, we're gonna also gonna add some styling. So simple styling, import child child form.css, and we need to make that file form.css. In child form CSS, I will leave that to you, but I'm gonna also add something. Just a second. Okay, we are here. We got a text field. We will need to add some label as well. So label, we're gonna go and check here if there is some labels. You can also search in material, that's pretty nice. Form label API, maybe that. Okay, this should be good. Gonna import it and also import it here. Form label. As we are doing the parent-child component, we need some props that we're gonna use. Okay, this is pretty much that we need right now. We're gonna add CSS later, we don't need it now. We're gonna cover functionalities, that's what we up to here. So let's add some props. The props we're gonna need is the label, some placeholder, onChange function, like onChange prop, and we're gonna spread something, some input fields. Let's do it like that. So label gonna go here. Label gonna go here, and rest of these props gonna go here. We can also put material is providing us some properties as well, I think. Like if you see the text field, where is it? Components, text field got some IDs, a label, variant. We can also use that. So for the label, we're gonna add label. Gonna add label placeholder. Gonna be placeholder on change. Gonna be on change, and we're gonna spread our input fields like that. And this is it for our child component. We still need to import it here. Child form, import child form. Okay, we don't need this, show you. Gonna also import some styling for later. It's gonna be form .css. Gonna make that file form.css. Okay, we don't need this for now. Nice. Now that's it. What's important to get a multiple input fields is we need an object. I'm gonna call it values. I'm gonna store our values here, and we are making the object with useState hook. So with useState hook, we're gonna make an object that got name, and it's gonna be empty string. It's gonna have last name, email, maybe description, as well as office. It's something else that we're gonna add for selector later. Some checkbox, maybe radio buttons, and that's it for now. I think it's enough for this video. To get this working, now we need some objects with inputs. We are adding a multiple inputs. This child form is just for displaying multiple inputs, and this parent form as well gonna have a description, office, some radio buttons, and some checkboxes. So let's make a list with the objects. First object gonna be in the name, so it's gonna give it ID of 0. Name gonna be a name. Type gonna be simple text. A label gonna be the name with capital N, and as well as the placeholder can be the name. That's it. You can also add error messages here and some patterns, blah blah blah, styling, I don't know, much more. So we're gonna make like three inputs. Gonna be the as well as the, we forgot one, password. We need password. Okay, it's gonna be 4. So this is gonna be name, email, last name, type text. Gonna add last name here and last name here. Another one gonna be for the email with ID 2. We are using IDs as a string because we will need them later for the for mapping keys. We need keys because console gonna scream at us. You can type email, label gonna be email, and placeholder gonna be email. Now we can add last with ID 3. It's gonna be password, and type password. Okay, so there is password. Now what we're gonna do, we're gonna map through those inputs and display them on screen. It's gonna be very simple. So here we're gonna go inputs dot map item, or input, as ever you like, input. Now we need to return something. We are returning the child form. As you can see, we got 4 of them, but no values or no, I don't know, label, no names, nothing. So what we can do is just with the spread operator spread our inputs and we will get something. Oh no. Okay, I'm getting invalid attribute name. Invalid attribute name. And that's it for why. Maybe input. Oh, input. It is input. Okay, now we fixed it. As you can see, we are getting the labels, the placeholders, and everything when we spread this. And this is nice. This is really good. Okay, next what we're gonna do after we spread those values, we're gonna give them the keys. I told you, it's gonna scream if we don't give the key. So it's gonna be input.id. And now console log should be okay with that. It is. We can still add some name. It's gonna be input.name. And now we need to give it on change function. We will need to make on change function to track our changes, as I could show you on the beginning. So we will have on change function, and that on change gonna have event, and our on change function, our on change probe gonna have on change function. Also we need to track values, and it's gonna be values and need to have a key. It's gonna be a input dot name. Now we are tracking each input own name. So what we can add on change function, we can destructure name and value with event.target. We can destructure it, and we can set values to the object. We're gonna spread the values, and with the name key give it value. We will also need a button to display this, but before that we need to add form group. So let's search for a form group. Form group, it is here. Form group, just add it in your parent component like this, and just wrap around everything and with form group. So let's wrap around everything, and now we can simply add a simple button. We're gonna add 2 buttons from material. Just go at the top, components, and button. Let's just drop 1 button inside. Okay, like here we need a button. It's not screaming at us, and that simple button gonna have these properties. It's gonna be contained. This one called send. Submit. Okay, now when we have a button, we need some function to send or console log our form values. So we need a click, and we're gonna now name that functional handle submit. It's screaming because we don't have it, so let's make one. Const handle submit. Gonna console.log our form is gonna values, but after we are logging the values, it's gonna refresh automatically, and we don't want that. We don't want on each submit refreshing, so we're gonna add event dot prevent default. Okay, and we are logging the values. Just John right now. it's working. This parent-child component is working. But now I'm gonna show you what if you have a description. So we need to add a text area. It's gonna be components, text field, and we're gonna scroll and find one big one, like this default one. I think it's at the bottom. Yeah, we're gonna use this standard one, text field. For the text field, just gonna import it here. We'll make one div here and wrap it around that div. Text field is screaming because we need to import it as well. Okay, let's import text field. Now I show you how you can make a parent-child form components with multiple inputs. This is parent-child relationship. You can also do this in the parent component. You don't need to make a child. This is just for, I don't know, if you want your code looking better. I'm gonna show you how you can add some text areas. As you can see here, text area. Also, we're gonna cover the select, the checkbox and radio buttons, ADC, session storage, blah blah blah. Okay, let's go to our text field. We're gonna give it a name. Name gonna be like we call it in the values. Description. It's gonna have value. Value gonna be values.description. So value gonna be values.description. It's empty for now. And now we can test this. Okay, something is not working. Taste forward ref. Okay, let's see what we did. Oh, we don't have on change. Now we need on change. Of course, forgot on change. Now it's screaming testing about value and what? We don't need this. Yeah, I don't know what was that predefined default value on material. Now when we submit hello, we are getting our hello. Okay, so we covered the text area. Now we go to the one selector, but we are not gonna go select and just put, we're gonna grab, just a second, like I'm gonna explain you better. Selector, and we're gonna grab selector from here. We need this. Okay, we'll just paste that here. We don't need this, I think. Select, and our select is like this. Just copy it. Copy that selector. Okay. Beautiful selector. And what I wanted to say is that we are not gonna manually put like menu items here or options when you got a simple select. We're gonna make a list and we're gonna loop through it, because we can have like 10 values, 10 options here, 50 options, I don't know. It's gonna be pain in the ass if we just manually put them one by one. So let's make a list. We're gonna delete this. We're gonna delete this value on change. We're gonna give it on change. Okay, let's make our simple object of offices. Const offices, simple list of objects. So first gonna have ID of 0 and name of, let's give it London office. Now we can just copy and paste this stuff, and we will change the names and IDs. ID here gonna be the Paris, and this is gonna be to like a better plane. Let's copy again, paste more. 3, 4, just one more. 5, gonna be other. Barcelona and I don't know, Rome. Okay, now what we need to do is loop through it, loop through our offices and display them. It's very simple. Offices like we did in the child form. Says dot map. We're gonna for each office gonna for each office we're gonna return what is material giving us. Menu item. Okay, are we getting something? Nothing. So we can put here office dot name. Let's see now. Now we are getting our values. But if we wanna choose our values, we can't. We need to have on change, and we also need to cover the value. So our value gonna be values dot office. Our office is empty, but we're gonna track our IDs, not strings, because I will show you. If we track our strings, dot values dot office, and our predefined gonna be value. Predefined value gonna be office dot name. Office dot name gonna be predefined value, and we will have as well as the key, so our console is not screaming office.id. And we need to put predefined value here, like here into the office. London office. Now we are getting the London office, and we can choose. Oh, we cannot choose. I missed something. And that is the name. We are not having the name. Office. Not having the name. When we refresh, now you can choose. When we submit the form, we are getting the Paris office, but it's not good practice to displaying strings. What's the better way we can do is put a like two gonna reference to our ID, like Berlin, and we're gonna put here in the menu item, we're gonna track ID. So now that's gonna be the predefined. It's gonna look up our ID. It's 2. It should be Berlin. It should be Berlin office, and when we submit, it's gonna submit the 2 as well as ID. And if you're working on a project and if you're having the backend, you're gonna send him some IDs, and then the backend gonna do the rest. It's gonna convert that ID and return you a string, and you're just gonna display a string. So if you got like object with ID and IDs and names, it's better to send ID or submit the ID. We also gonna do that with a send. Send is not gonna have ID, it's gonna have a boolean value, and the default value is gonna be the false. So let's focus on a checkbox now. Again, we're gonna go to React Material, go to the checkbox, and just select this import this checkbox. So now when we have a checkbox, we need to import it, but with the checkbox it's getting a little bit complex, not that much. we'll need to change one thing. Okay, we're gonna put our checkbox right here, but for the checkbox we still need, let's see, checkbox, checkbox with label. I want checkbox with label, so we need form control label. Form control label you need to import as well. Just copy this one and let's paste it under the select. So checkbox, we don't need this. Label gonna be send. Is that displaying? Yeah, it's working. Okay, we got a send. And we will need a name for that. For that, we're gonna simply add a name. It's gonna be the send name. Value as well gonna be values.send. Let's repeat, and we need on change function on change. So to get this working, what's happening now? When we submit, we are getting false, but as a string, not as a boolean, and this is not good. What we need to track on change value, and I'm gonna show you. Console log event. Now gonna clear this. When we press the checkbox send, we got a target and the value is checked, so we need to target check to see if it's true or false. And one more thing that we need, it's not a name, it is a name, but it's not called by like inputs, that we just need a name. We need to checked. Let's search checked. Checkbox. We need checkbox. We need to search checkbox. Type. So we need a type to see if it is a checkbox, not an input field, text area, or selector. So we need a type. And how we gonna do it? Simple. We will change our onChange function a little bit. First, we need to destructure, as well as we need to pull some values, pull some targets like type and checked. Let's add type and checked. Now when we got the type and checked, we're gonna check if the type is equal to checkbox, then it's gonna be checked, otherwise it's gonna be a value. So let's type here with ternary operators. Type, if it equals to checked, then it's gonna be type is equal checkbox, sorry, checkbox, then it's gonna be checked, otherwise it's gonna be value. And now when we press send and submit, we are still getting the false value. And that's why is that? Because I misspelled this, my bad. Let's clear it, and this send, it's still false. It should be true. Okay, checked. If the type triple equals, okay, let's see our checkbox. Maybe I did something wrong with our checkbox. Okay, values.send, that should be the predefined. What else on change is on change, and checkbox should have a value as well, probably. Values.send, let's check it out right now. False. Oh, it's working, it's working. I should refresh it, or what's happening? True, and now it's false. It's working. It's working. Okay, guys, I'm gonna delete this so it's not getting in our way. Yeah, it's a little bit tough for my first video. I'm sorry. What's still left to do is a gender. We're gonna also do a list of genders because we can have male, female, other, I don't know what else you like. So let's do a list with objects. Genders equals a list with object. It's gonna be ID 0, name it's gonna be male, and let's just copy for female. We're gonna add female and other. Female, and let's add one more, other. Okay, now we got genders and we need material radio buttons. So this one is nice. So we need radio group, and also form label. Oh, we got label. Let's import that at the top. Now what we're gonna do, we're just gonna copy this. And paste it after our checkbox. We need label here. It's the child component. Let's import it. Okay, gender default value female. No radio group. We're gonna add what? Name. It's gonna be values.gender on change function, and values value gonna be values.gender. As I said in the beginning, we also gonna use IDs. We are gonna loop here. Gonna have genders. Is it a gender or genders? Dot map. For each gender, gonna return that. What are we returning? Form control label. And inside we're gonna have control with a radio. Control with radio, and here it's gonna be the dot name. Let's check it out. Okay. Key, we need a key, so we're gonna give it a key. Their dot ID. Gender.id. What else we need? Where did I put? This is not good. What is this? Yeah, now it's working. I need this. Our radio phone control. Oh, it's outside. Jesus. Okay, nice. We don't need this. Should be working right now. Okay, nice. Gender dot name. Okay, we need a label. That's from material label, yeah. Gender dot name. And this is it. Now when we pick up, we cannot pick because we don't provide a default value here. It's gonna be like 2. That's other. When we submit it, we are providing other. Nice. And now I need to check out why select my video group. Okay, we got the values, the gender, the name, on change, values, the gender. Okay, value, gender, auth ID, predefined. Everything seems okay, but yeah, I still cannot choose my gender. Also give a name like this. You don't need to do this. I think you can also do this. Yeah. And now we are getting our value. And this is it, guys. This is what I wanted to show you. Now we're gonna swap to storing these values to the session storage. And of course we can add some validations. We're also gonna add one more button with color error. I think it's provided here. Yeah, it's gonna be clear. I'm gonna make function clear form. Clear form. It's screaming at us because we don't have it. Clear form function. That clear form function just gonna reset our set values to these properties, like these properties. When we clear it, that should work. If we put like John, and press clear, well, yeah, it's clearing. I think it's uncontrolled input. Look at this one. Click clear form. What we got on the last name. That should be here. That should be here. And what's uncontrollable about this? Interesting. I don't know what's happening with my last name. Did I pass it something else? Name, text. Oh, it should be good. I don't know what's happening. Probably what we did with the name, but never mind. For that one, let's add this to the session storage, and we're gonna put one more error handling. So to add this to session storage, we simply gonna make another function, and we're gonna add useEffect hook. So let's add useEffect hook. Our useEffect hook gonna come here. It's gonna be useEffect. That's gonna store to session storage. So session storage.set item with a key form, and then we're gonna JSON stringify that values. Oops. Values. Also we need to provide a bracket, and it's gonna listen our changes on our values. Whatever we typed here, it's gonna listen and save it to session storage. Now we need one more function that's gonna be called, I don't know, const. It's gonna be up here. Const get from session. That function gonna have storage variable and gonna get our key session storage dot get item form. Maybe we can parse it up here. Yeah, we can probably parse it, but okay. Now we're gonna type if there is no storage, we're just gonna return our object like this. Return this object. Otherwise, we're gonna return JSON dot parse our storage, and this is it. As well, we need to remove this, and now our get from session is going up here. So now our values, so if we yawn do submit application, saving our John Doe with pre-default values, refreshing, it's still up here. Nice. And for the last thing, we can add some validations. That's gonna be that we need to make one more useState object. I'm gonna put it like down here for simplicity. Const, let's call it error, simple, and set error gonna be useState with again object, and let's description gonna be empty. Okay, now on our function where we handle submit, we're gonna have condition if error dot description dot length is less than 5 characters. Let's put it for now. Set error, gonna spread our errors, pull everything, and give description some text. Text should be longer 5 characters. Okay, this is our text for subscription description. So this is how we're gonna handle. What is this? Oh yeah, we need parentheses. This is our error. Text should be longer than 5 characters. Else we're gonna return that. So when we submit, if we are submitting, this is gonna pop up still, and we will be able to console log the form. So we want to return it, not console log anything if we got an error. Else we're gonna set error. If there is no error, we're just gonna spread our errors and description put to nothing. This is it. Now we can play with that error. We're gonna call it right under our text field, right up here. We're gonna go error description, and if that is just put a paragraph with style color red, one more parenthesis, and here you can put like error.description. Error.description. Now let's check this. If you put something to 14, submitting, text should be longer than 5 characters. If you are adding something, submitting, you are console logging that stuff. Also refreshing, you are getting this from session storage. It's still in our session storage. We can clear it, refresh it, nothing here. Everything is working. I'm letting you guys to play with CSS. I don't know if this was like good for you. This is just my first video. I will try to explain it better in the future. I hope you like it, and this is it for this video. See you guys next time. Bye.